Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the Golden Age Guardians. The Golden Age Guardians come to us from the folks over at CKRTLab. You can go to www.ckrtlab.com if you want to check out not only the Golden Age Guardians that they're producing, but a wide range of different collectibles as well. Now, one cool thing that I really like about the Guardians here is that the open window allows for a piece that you could really theoretically keep in box. You don't necessarily have to open it up and display them that way. You can display them and still be able to see the really neat figure inside. On the side of the package, Collect the Revolution, CKRTLab. I love this logo, this font, picture that they've used on the side of the box there. And then on the back, the characters. Well, actually, you know what? Let's tackle the characters first. Wave 1 consists of the American Crusader. Out of 1 of 300 is the color version. 1 in every 100 is the black and white version. Equally so, the Black Terror also comes in a colorized version as well as black and white. It includes ray gun, pistol, truncheon, and sword. Then on the backside, shows you the first appearance of the characters. American Crusader, first appearance, Thrilling Comics number 19, August 1941. Identity, Archie Masters. Superpowers, super strength, flight, invulnerability. Publisher was Nedor Publishing. And the creator was Max Pallasted. Archie Masters was a timid astronomy professor who taught at Grand University. A colleague created a device called an atom smasher, but the initial test went awry and Masters was bathed in atomic radiation. The accidents endowed him with various superhuman abilities, which he used to fight crime and battle Axis forces as the American Crusader. And then on the underside, be sure to follow CKRTLab Toys at Gmail. They also have Twitter, Facebook, and also Instagram. Let me also touch base on the fact that even though the characters themselves are specified to the characters of American Crusader and Black Terror, what's really neat though is I love just the generic body that they use for the characters. And of course we'll touch more into that as we get the package opened up. Spot's going to take a break, get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to have a better look at the Golden Age Guardians, the Black, or the American Crusader. And Spot's also going to be looking at the Black Terror. He'll be coming up as well. But first things first, let's have a look at the American Crusader. There's more things heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Now, just before we have a look at the American Crusader, let's have a look at the accessories that come with him. He comes with 4 accessories. All the accessories themselves are cast in this gray plastic. And aside from the sword, which has a little more of a pliability to the blade itself, the weapons as a whole are very durable plastic. They don't feel like a cheap plastic or anything like that. Very strong, very durable. But you get yourself a ray gun. And this reminds me of like all the old sci-fi serials that I used to actually watch when I was younger. It's got like a real vintage retroness to it. But he does come with a ray gun, which, though painted or cast in a gray plastic, quite nice detailed. I like the simplified look that they have. Now, any one of the accessories can be easily plugged into his hand. He's got a nice open hands that will hold the accessories. There he is with his ray gun. Also, accessories that you get too are a pistol, which kind of has a little more of a blockier design to it than that of the ray gun. You also get yourself a truncheon, or like a nightstick weapon. And last, but certainly not least, we've already looked at it, he comes also with the sword. So, depending on your preference, you could have him with 2 regular just melee weapons, or you can give him 2 hand weapons, like the gun, the pistol, and the ray gun. But I like the accessories. I like the accessories actually quite a bit. Taking the accessories out of his hand, just putting those to the side. Having a look closer at the American Crusader. Now, the American Crusader as well as the Black Terror come to us from the Golden Age Guardians Wave 1. And, you know, I love them in the colored version, but I would have loved to have seen them in the black and white version as well. The nature of their, even like the body and the nature of how, like, vintage they look, I would love to have seen them also in that black and white color scheme. The American Crusader and also Black Terror come with capes. And the capes you can easily just take off. They're a nice pliable rubbery plastic, and they just sit over top of the shoulders of the American Crusader's shoulders. A really nice piece though, and getting a closer look at the face, you can see really the inspiration to where characters like the American Crusader would have been the, you know, the forefathers to what we would get now with superheroes. And it's really neat that CKRTLab is producing pieces based on like vintage looking designed superheroes. Now with American Crusader, coloring wise, his suit mostly is comprised of like this raspberry red, like the darker navy, and then the white. Red, white, and blue. And let's not forget, of course, the yellow in his utility belt, or just really just his regular belt. Taking the cape off, just actually for a second, because it'll probably help me go through his articulation probably a little bit better. Before we actually look at the articulation, I also want to just talk once again about the profile, or a front kind of profile of the body that they use for these pieces. I really like these bodies. I don't know if they would ever be able to acquire licensing for other characters, you know, current characters, but they definitely have a good body to be using for other superheroes. I love the upper torso being big and broad, smaller lower leg area there as well. And then on the other side it says CKRTLab. It also says Tom Ellis down there below as well. But for your articulation, the American Crusader's head does rotate. Now it rotates on an angle, so instead of it rotating, you know, left and right, it rotates kind of more so on an angle. But you know, that for the nature of what this kind of character would be, kind of makes sense that he would just be kind of very, you know, very proud, kind of looking off. I could almost see like the American flag, like right here. Arms swivel all the way around. They have a rotation in the wrist, which is not something you tend to see a lot of when it comes to vinyl figures. Generally, with vinyl figures, you'll get a head rotation, might get maybe a waist swivel, which Crusader does have, and arm swivel. But seeing arm, the actual hands rotate too, is a nice touch, and I'm glad they were able to incorporate that into the bodies themselves. Also too, by having the arms swivel, the hands swivel, you know, it allows you to have them holding weapons a little more natural than, you know, just straight out like that. So that's also something else I really like about these pieces. Returning his cape, let's put the cape back on him. Again, he's a really nice piece. Would have loved to have seen him in the black and white version as well, just to kind of give a scope for, because again, like these are vintage superheroes, seeing them in a black and white treatment I definitely think would do them justice as well. Loving the color though, and I think the coloring has like a mutedness to it, but it still has a vibrancy to it as well, if that makes any sense whatsoever. If you guys are interested in checking out more from CKRTLab, I'm going to provide that link down below. You guys can head over to their website and check them out. Today's collectible spot, though, we were having a look at the Golden Age Guardians Wave 1 American Crusader. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have the review of the Black Terror coming around the corner from this video, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, as you always do, and I'll see you next time.